In this video, we are going to learn how to handle the missing data in Pandas. So we are going to cover the following topics. First, we will start how the missing data appear in the dataset. Then we will learn how to find the total missing values. And then we will see how to sum up these missing values and then how to find their percentage, drop missing value and fill the missing value with the some numbers or some other values. So how missing data appear? Let's suppose you are filling a form and in that form you have couple of fields that are actually required. You have filled those required fields but you have skipped the optional part. Like let's say in this one, address line 2 is optional. So what will happen in the backend? The Excel sheet that will be generated is having a missing values for address line 2 option. So let's say 10 users have filled this form and they all have skipped this thing, address line 2. Then the value that will be shown over there is NaN, which refers to a missing value. So now let's jump into our Jupyter notebook to see all of these points, how we can perform all of these activities. So this is my Jupyter notebook and I have that crop recommendation dataset with me. So this is the snapshot of that crop recommendation data. So let's go ahead and check how many missing data do we have in this dataset. So for that I will use isNow operation. isNow operation is used to find the missing values in that. So what it will display? It will display true false values. So if there is any missing value, then it will display true there. Since there is no missing values, and we can find that using by adding another function which is sum. So this will give us the total number of missing values in each column. So we don't have a missing value in this data set. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a missing values in this data set. So I found this script on the Stack Overflow, and this script works perfectly for me as it is creating a missing values in the dataset. So what I am going to do, I am going to run this, and now I am going to run the above cell once again. So now you can see that we have 225 missing values in the first column, that is N, and P have 213 and so on. So let me go ahead and refresh this. So now once we have this thing, let me see once again. So these are the missing values. So you can just pay attention on this function once again. So df is the name of a data frame that we have created over here. Dot isNa is a function that is used to check whether how many missing values are there in the data set. So if I just remove some from here, now you can see that we have true over here. That means there are missing values over here at this point, at this place. Now, if I want the cumulative information, let's say I want to know how many missing values are there in each column, then I can just add another function dot sum, bracket open close. Now I have this information. Now let's go ahead and save this information in a variable. We are storing the total number of missing values. So what I have done over here, I have performed the same operation which I have did over here. And then on this total value, I have applied another sum operation. So with that, what happened? All these values has been calculated together. So when all these values has been accumulated or added together, then the total value that has come is 1760. Now let's find the product of rows and columns. We are finding all these information so that we can find the percentage of total data that is available, that is missing from the data set. So now we are finding the product. In order to find a product, you have to use this function which is df.size. This is actually row into column. Now we have rows, let's say total number of rows. So if you want to see the total number of rows and columns, I can use the shape attribute 2200 multiply by 8 columns and 2200 rows. So if I just open the calculator and 2200 multiply by 8, and this will give me 17600, an exact value I am getting over here. So in order to find the percentage, what I am going to do, total missing, so I am using total missing. So total missing is this one. So if I would have stored it in a variable, I would have used that variable over here, but it's okay, it's a small thing, we can write in this way as well. Divided by df.size. So df.size means this, and multiply by 100. So this will give me the total percentage of data that is missing from this data set. So it says 10% data is missing from this data set. So now what is the importance of this thing? You can go ahead and let's say you are working for a client and you can just share this information that 10% of the data from the entire data set is missing. So they can let you know what is the next course of action. So most of the organization have set this parameter. Let's say if there is a 8% missing data, then they will remove missing values Otherwise, if it is greater than 8%, then they will fill that data set with some other values. Let's say the client has informed you that you can remove 10% of data from that data set. Then you can use this function, which is drop now. Drop now will drop all the missing values from that data set. So before we perform this thing, let me go ahead and show you how much missing data is still available over here. So df dot is now, so right now we have this much of data which is missing. So the moment I have run this cell which says df dot drop now is a function which is used to drop the missing values. It has a few parameters. So how you want to do this: thresh, subset, in place. So in place equals to true. If I'll set it in place equals to true, then it will be removed then and there. Otherwise, if I am not using in place equals to true, then I have to write this thing in this way: df equals to, and then I can just simply remove this. So it is what it is doing. First of all, it is removing all the missing values, and then it is reassigning it to the same data frame. Using in place is more convenient, so I'll just use in place over here. Now the moment I have run this, you can see, let me run this cell once again. Now I have zero missing values in my data set. So in this way you can remove the missing values from the data set. Now if the client has informed you that you have to fill the data set, then what you are going to do? So in order to show that, I need to refresh this thing, like I need to run this cell so that I can get back all my missing values. And I also need to run this so that missing values are added in the data set. Now let's run it once again so that we can see we have missing values again. So using fill now function, you can fill the missing values. So there are different ways of filling the missing value. The client may ask you to fill the missing value with mean, median, or some value. Let's say if the client has asked you to fill all the missing values with 0, then what will happen? So let me go ahead and view the data first. Now here you can see that we have missing values over here. So first 5 columns, let's say head. Now here you can see that we have missing values on the label. The moment I have run this cell, which will replace all the missing values with number 0. Now if I just go ahead and run it once again, now you can see that all the places where nan was written, it is written 0 over here. Let me go ahead and refresh my data set once again. Client has asked you to fill any other number, then you can simply provide that number over here. Please note, I have refreshed my data set. That means the missing values came back again. So if I just run it once again and run this once again, now you can see that okay, this time we have different missing values, but wherever it is replaced by number 6 over here. You can see that number 6 is there. So there are a couple of methods available in this missing value, that fill now option. So what we can do, just let me show you real quick. Now here you can see that we have method over here, and in these method we have these many options. So what are these many options? Out of these many options, these are same thing and these are same thing. By default it is set to none. So backfill, what it will does, let's say we have a missing value at this point. So whatever the value is here, that will be filled over here if you will use backfill or bfill. Whereas the ffill or pad does the opposite. That means if this is the missing value, then whatever value is present over here, that will be filled here. So let me go ahead and load my previous data set. Like I am going to load the CSV file and I am going to add missing values to this data set. Now if I just run it once again, you can see that we have missing values at row number 3 and for K, that is for potassium. Let's go ahead and use the method. So if I just use the method bfill over here, what will happen? Whatever, let's say the value is over here is 42. So this 42 will be filled at the place of nan, and run this cell once again. Now you can see that 42 has been filled. Let's run it once again. Let's run let's load back the data once again, and then let's perform the same operation with ffill. So that this time you can see that we have multiple nan values on this screen. So let's consider this one. What will happen? Whatever the value is over here, that will be filled here if we will use ffill or pad. So if I just run it, now you can see that since there 226 was there, that's why 226 has been filled over here. And since 21.770 was there, that's why it has been filled in all the nan values. So this is how you can fill the data. In case if you want to fill it with the mean values, then you can just type df dot mean over here. Also you can store it in a data frame, let's say mean values, and if I just run it, I will get the mean values over here. So what I can do, I can just type df dot fill na, and then I can simply type mean val. Also before I can run this operation, I need to load the data back, need to add the missing data. Now if I just go ahead and run it, now all the values that has nan values has been replaced by the mean values. So let me store it in the dataset, let's say, and let me check this one, filled with mean dot is na dot sum. Only last one is there which is not filled, otherwise all the rows has been filled, all the columns has been filled with the mean values. Last one has not been filled because last one has a data type of object. So df label dot t type. Now here you can see that it says, oh, that means it's an object. Object means string. So since it has a string values, that is why we cannot calculate the mean for a string values. That is why it has not changed. Otherwise, all the rows has been changed. With this, we have learned how to handle missing data in Pandas. Next, we will learn how to manipulate data in Pandas.